I mean, compromise is important in a relationship, but I'm not willing to compromise my peace, my sanity. I'm not willing to compromise my core values of safety, security, respect, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, openness, and honesty. I'm not willing to throw those things out the window, but I am willing to compromise on, if my man were to say, baby, we got to move, where are we going? If my man were to say, you know, I want you to stop shooting skits so much. Dang. You sure? Okay. And not to say that I'm a pushover, but ultimately if the root message of it is, I want us to be stronger together. If the root message of it is, you know, we got us and we're riding this thing till the wheels fall off and this is my husband, I feel personally like that just makes for a stronger relationship. And the same thing for a man. I think that a man should be able to compromise anything other than who he is, his purpose, and his commitment to God. What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and if you have not yet, please make sure to hit that button so you can subscribe for each new video. Hit that little bell so you get a notification with all the content that we're pumping out because, guys, you have curated this content, okay? We are creating so many of these episodes so that we can get to the questions and the videos that you guys are submitting. If you want to submit a video or a question, make sure to hit that link below so that you can get the information that it is that you want, okay? But without further ado, we're going to jump straight into what it is that y'all have asked for. So as per usual, we got Anissa on the mic. What's up, baby?
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, girl. Shot by Anissa, not with a gun, with a camera. How you feeling?
Girl, I'm blessed.
Oh,
I'm just happy to be alive.
Come on. Ain't that both of us? That makes two, okay?
It's life, listen.
It's life.
Okay.
We know.
Yes, we know.
And we got, who is Kenny V? Kenny, creative director, producer of the year. What's up?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Who's Kenny V. Let's get it. It's giving
How
another
you
day.
feeling, Kenny?
Let's go. I'm feeling blessed, man.
I love it.
I just love the growing community of It's Giving right now. And we got the book out. Whoa!
Oh, my
We got it out. Listen, it's finally here.
We not playing.
Okay, let me tell y'all. I got to tell you guys. So this is the thing. The team was like, Sarah, you need to create a product because people keep asking you the same questions. So we created a book on how to be a more 10 steps. 10 steps you can start to implement immediately, by the way, on how to be a high value feminine woman. This is an introduction to finding your femininity. So if that's something that you're interested into, get that ebook below. There's also a video bonus, okay? There's all types of really cool stuff. Make sure to check out the description. You might miss out if you don't, okay?
Period.
So we're going to go ahead and kick it off. Anissa, are we
Yes,
starting
ma'am.
with questions or videos? What we doing?
We got to get to these questions because, baby,
these
these questions are juicy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have the first one now. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Should your wife have the last say-so in the household?
No.
Your face. I say it just depends because sometimes the wife may be stronger in certain areas and a husband. I believe that the leader always has the last say-so. Let's just make it clear. But let's just say, I don't know, the husband is not good at managing a certain thing and the wife is stronger in that certain area. Do you believe that the wife should have the input in that area?
I think input is different from final say-so. I think to be a wife, at least the type of wife that I aspire to be, which is a high value, feminine, high earning woman that is partnered with a high value, high earning masculine man. Ultimately, my input and feeling heard and acknowledged and seen, that's important to me. That's very important to me. However, ultimately, the decision is his because I'm submitted to the mission of the God that's inside of him, right? And so ultimately, if I'm better at finances, or I'm better at really anything, I'm definitely going to place my input, and a true leader knows when it's time to follow, which is why it's important inside of your partner choice. If you're choosing someone that's more in their ego, that needs to be like, well, what I say goes, rah, 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 that's not really the person that you want. You don't want them to have the final say so. But if you have a true leader that knows who they are, they know where they're going, they know the purpose, and they want what's good for the colony, then they're going to take your input, and the final say so will really be what you said in the first place. Mm-hmm. Can you be feminine enough to plant that seed in the man so that he feels like it's his idea anyway, and then celebrate him for when he does it? Because ultimately, the woman is the conductor in the household. You just don't see her because her back is turned.
Break that down for me, please.
If you go watch an orchestra, you have all of this music that's playing. That's the man. The man is providing. He's doing this. Sometimes it's brash. Sometimes it's strong. Sometimes it's quiet. It's all of this different things, harmonies that are happening. He's running the household. But the conductor is there saying, this is when it's time to do this. Hey, not right now. You gotta stop that. Hey, you need to come right here. You're literally orchestrating the household.
But who writes the music?
God.
Ooh.
That's the purpose. That's the alignment.
Like that.
That's the source.
You're talking to a band geek, so I had to go there. I'm sorry. Okay. Next question.
Okay. I feel complete. Was that complete?
Yeah, I feel complete.
Okay.
Do Black women...
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I have to go there. Do Black women show regret when she sees another Black man dating outside of his race?
Regret?
Yeah, like I feel like I get his direction. Like a lot of times Black women hate seeing Black men date outside their race, but a lot of times Black men, and it actually ties into one of the videos that we're going to watch today. A lot of times Black women have the bad rep of being loud, ghetto, bougie. I know that's two sides of the spectrum, but we are categorized as a whole. And I hate that.
I do too.
We are not all the same. But we get a bad rep sometimes, and it also can tie into how they were mothered. Were their mothers nurturing, or were they loud, abrasive, abusive? They automatically think that this white woman, because a lot of times white girls are trained and groomed
to be a wife.
Mm-hmm. So I guess because a lot of women get mad, like they do. I've seen it, especially where I grew up. They visibly get angry when they see Black men dating white women. And I grew up with a racist grandmother. She couldn't stand white people in our house. Like, God forbid. She thought my son's father was white. She was like, I know you ain't. I was like, yo, chill out. So I don't know. But then again, she was a slave too. So it's like, it's so many different aspects that you can look on.
See, I have 3 brothers that all have white partners.
Really?
Yeah, 3 of my 4 brothers. And my other brother is a homosexual, so he wouldn't be with a white woman. But he's mostly Black. He mostly enjoys.
He black.
He like Black men.
Okay.
The other 3, and you have to also understand, I grew up in Canada where there aren't very many Black people. So most Black people end up with a white counterpart. So no, I wouldn't be upset. I don't understand why people would be upset. I do believe that love is love. But I also, for me personally, I need someone that's had my experience.
So you couldn't date a white man?
I'm not saying that I couldn't. I'm saying that it would be really challenging for me to make that choice. And this is the reason why. Because if or when God blesses me with children, if I have a white husband, he has Black children.
Yeah. And
he doesn't have mixed children. He doesn't have white. He has Black children. And if I have a Black son, my white husband has a Black son. And I'm sure that there are people that can learn about the culture, but you just learn differently when you've experienced the culture. And so there's things that innately he would never know how to prepare my son for because he's never experienced it. He could do all the learning, but it's literally like those gurus on the internet that teach you all like the fluff stuff. And then it's like, well, what happens when stuff hits the fan? They don't really know because they've never done it.
Yeah.
They've only done the little fluffy stuff, and that's cute, and you made your money off of fluff, and that's fine. Yeah. But for people that really know like the grit and the core and the downfalls and the struggles, like that story is way different and way more intriguing, by the way. So for me, it would just be like, I personally just, not that I love all races, but I love a Black king. Like when I see myself, like I love a Black king.
You love that melanin girl.
Girl, I love, even though that I do believe a lot of Black men have a chip on their shoulder, and it's societal, and it's oppression, and it's racism, and so it makes sense.
What do you mean by because see, my opinion of chip on their shoulder is like ego, pride. Like it's like they think that they're better than the other person.
No,
but then when you use that reason like oppression and all this stuff, that doesn't sound like chip. So what do you mean by that?
I do think it's ego, and I do think it's pride, and I think that a lot of Black men feel like they have to prove instead of just allowing themselves to be. So, and I get it, because it's literally like we live in a world that beats our Black men down. Let's just keep it 1,000. So I understand it, and I still choose it, even knowing that it's there. I just, inside of my relationships, I do my best to disarm that, because I don't need you to prove anything to me.
I just want you to exist.
I just want, baby,
just exist.
Just be here with
So
me.
this is a question that I have for you.
Oh, okay.
And this may be a little off, but it kind of goes to the question. How do you feel about white families adopting Black children? Because here's the thing. I love anybody who just sees a child for them being a child who needs love. However, I have an issue with that because, like you said, they have a Black child and they have no idea what it means to be Black. They don't understand the experience, the culture, anything. There was a video clip going around about a white family adopting a Black child, and he came and saw another Black kid, and they was playing, and the little boy had like razor bumps on the back of his head, and the other Black kid's mom was like, you need to find him a proper barber that cuts Black children's hair. Luckily in that movie, she was receptive to it. She said, do you have any recommendations? So I love that. But a lot of times, a lot of people adopt Black children because they feel like they have the culture.
Like a savior's complex.
I don't even understand it.
You know what? For me, I do feel like there probably aren't enough Black people adopting Black children.
There aren't.
And so I'm grateful that babies are finding homes and children are finding homes. I think that that's a beautiful thing. And I don't understand, because ultimately it's like you're choosing a struggle, which is fine. Like, to choose someone that has it's like a man being raised by wolves, or a hyena being raised by lions, or a penguin being raised by eagles. Like, they're just not, not the same.
Yeah.
They're the same species, but there's just differences about them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I want to be clear that there's nothing wrong with, but I just feel like it's a struggle that child will probably never really feel like they fit in. And so now it's just a lot of work that needs to be done. Yeah. But I will say, I would rather the identity work need to be done than a child being abused in foster care.
Of course.
You know, so
they would have to definitely like jailbreak their brain to understand, like, okay, we have this child.
This is who I am. This is what this means. This is whatever. Because even for me, and both my parents are Black, by the way, I've been seeing so many people on the internet be like, Sarah's not even Black. How does she?
My daughter didn't think you were Black.
What is that? What is that?
I
Where does that come from?
Like, honestly,
I got real questions.
I feel like a lot of people incorrectly and subconsciously think that Black is an action and not a race. Like, if you think about it, you don't, quote unquote, and I want to put hard quotes, don't act Black.
What does that even mean? How do you act Black? That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It is. I feel you, right? But you know how I code switch, right? You've seen it before.
Yes.
You've seen how I can speak like this now.
Yes.
And then I go to Clayco in 5 seconds.
Yes.
Like, my Clayco nature is more acting Black. But if you were to get on the phone with me.
Disagree.
But okay.
You know what I would say? What? I think that what people think acting Black is acting ignorant. And I don't subscribe to that story.
I don't subscribe to that story either. But normally, if you were to get on the phone with me and I speak like this, people would assume that I am not a Black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
it is a negative connotation that comes from racism, honestly,
yes.
that Black people have adapted to feel like relatable but I it's so crazy because it can't be. You look Black.
Yeah.
You look Black.
Especially now that I cut all my hair off.
Yeah. But see, at the same time, I feel like people, like, you don't have that round away. That's what I'm trying to think. You remember, like, okay, so I'm binge watching Girlfriends again. I love Girlfriends.
Oh.
And you don't have that round away attitude. You're not a round away girl.
I don't even know what that is, to be completely honest.
Sassy,
I can be sassy.
But they don't see that, Sarah.
I can
know
be
that.
very sassy.
I know that because we're friends in real life. But people on the outside don't see that.
I can be, and you know what? I can very articulately tell someone about themselves. I could be just as savage. I'm just going to do it in a well-educated, well-versed way.
A lot of people don't realize that acting black comes from white people thinking that we're savages. That's sad. It is sad.
I don't subscribe to that story. Or when people say silly things like, because I get this all the time when people say, wow, you're really beautiful for a black girl.
That's crazy work.
That's the same thing about like, oh, wow, you speak really well for a black woman. Like, wait.
I've heard that. I heard that my whole
I just
life.
speak well. If you think I'm pretty for a human. If you think I speak well for a human. Like and it's funny because it's like, you know, you don't have our same experience. And at the same time, it's like, don't tell me I need to act black, but there is a black experience. And so it's hard because it's like,
it's hard to differentiate.
Don't treat me one way, but then also you don't understand this way. So that's I don't know. I feel complete.
Yeah. It's a lot.
That's a lot. What you think, Kenny? Kenny's like, I ain't black, but he colored.
This is true.
Are you?
So I'm Dominican. So
that's what I'm saying. Aren't you like black?
That's not black.
It's not black. It's Spanish.
Right. He's
but
Latin.
we do have different shades.
And you
DR.
light skinned. You a
light
high
skinned.
yellow Dominican.
He red, girl.
So my dad's more of a black Dominican. He's dark skinned. Then my mother's more of a white Dominican because she's light skinned.
That's
So
insane.
one comes from the country, one's more city-ish. Different tones of that. But come across like growing up, everyone always thought it was black and white. All the time.
I could see that.
All the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Barely
It's
ever
the hair.
Spanish. And whatever.
And you don't speak Spanish.
And at the time, not fluently at least. But at the time, you know, people would, I mean, all right, so give me the question one more time. What do I think about, was this the one with the mom or the dad?
No, this is
adopting,
talking about do black women regret seeing black men date white women?
Man, I don't know.
I don't
see
care.
the regret? I mean, because my lady is black and Italian. So
she's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
True.
And then for her side, like I feel like her father is the black side and her mother's the Italian side. I never saw like any issue from her father's side of her dating a Spanish man. And I never seen on the Italian side that she's seeing her daughter date a Spanish man. So like I see there's 3 different races here, right? Yeah. So I haven't seen any issue, even with my black friends, because I've grown up with all my friends are pretty much black. I'm not gonna lie, and then I got Spanish friends too. But even with them, I've seen them either date within their race and culture, and I've seen some date outside of their culture. And I have seen like, why are you dating that girl? Like, why are you dating that boy?
Oh, my mother
Things like
literally
that.
looked at me and told me I better not ever bring a white man into our house.
Sheesh.
Her and my grandmother.
Yeah. See, I personally haven't experienced that. My family never gave me that issue.
Yeah.
I've seen it with some of my friends where maybe their parents might look a little like, why are you bringing them around?
What's the word that's less than racist? Like, you're not racist.
Prejudice.
You're my dad is definitely prejudiced.
Why you say that?
Because he is. Sorry, Dad, putting you on Front Street. He's very proud of the people.
Oh, he's pro-black.
Oh, yeah. I've had some experiences. Maybe I shouldn't say he's prejudiced. That's probably too strong. But I've definitely experienced the looks that you were talking about, Kenny, where it's like,
what you doing here?
Definitely
but that's also what we were raised in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I mean, I think just like you said before, just be a human. I think it's all human things that we all have to agree on. I got nothing against races and cultures. I love to learn more about cultures personally.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool to have that mixture. I definitely understand maybe back in the day of generations where they're like, okay, we're 100% Dominican. We want to continue being 100% Dominican.
Dang.
But I've never came across that. My family is not like that.
Yeah.
So I can imagine maybe some other people in that culture like that. And the same thing in the black culture, white culture, Italian culture, Portuguese culture,
ultimately,
Jewish culture.
there won't even be a culture in 100 years from now.
100%. It's already so mixed up.
Years from now, yeah.
That's crazy word.
I feel like there's more mixed babies now than ever, for sure.
You know, and if you really think about it, every black person on the planet is mixed.
Unless they never made it over this way.
I have 12% European in me. I'm mixed. I am mixed with a little, I got a little Asian in me.
She white.
You dig. She white now.
She white.
Clayco white.
A white girl.
Girl, be quiet.
That's a white girl right there.
Yeah. I mean, I have Asian in me. I have some Dominican in me. Yeah. My
Oh, were you my people yet to Sabbath?
You said, I have no idea what you just said.
Oh, you know?
But yeah, like we all mixed.
Sí se puede. All right, I feel complete.
This is a good question.
Okay.
Why should a man get married when women leave so easily? I'm sorry for you feeling that way.
Yeah. Why should a man get married when women want to leave so easily?
When they leave so easily.
This is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife. So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. And most times, because in society, they make you feel like you need to get married and start a family, they choose the person that they like the most. Maybe even they love the most in that moment. But marriage is not something that should be based inside of, I like this person enough. They were persistent enough. They were romantic enough. Marriage, to make it in the long haul, has to be rooted in something real, like God, purpose, and alignment, similar core values, right? And so when you have that, if you don't have that, a man really doesn't want to get married, but if he does get married and it's not rooted in the right things, she will leave. So a woman is leaving if she's doing wrong partner choice. And if the man is doing wrong partner choice, if we're doing wrong partner choice, then you shouldn't want to get married.
Right.
But you should absolutely want to get married if you are aligned with someone rooted in God, rooted in your purpose, and submitted to the mission of alignment for your life, in my personal opinion. So women don't leave from that. Truly, it's hard for a woman to leave. And if you know who you are and what you actually want, because a lot of us think that we want these high earning, high value masculine men. And then you realize they don't have all the time for you. They may not be the most romantic. If you've had a long day, they might not say, baby, come here, let me rub your feet. They might, but they also might not. Right. And so inside of that, are you okay with the person that you've chosen as a woman choosing that man? Or are you just like, I'm okay with having a loveless, passionless relationship because he pays the bills?
Yeah, that's why I left my marriage. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
I 100% agree with you because a lot of times we overlook red flags. And
did you know most people break up a year or 2 years or 3 years later for the same red flag they saw in the first week?
That's insane. I mean, I can agree. And I can relate because we think we can change people.
And we can't.
And also, this is why, going back to the question, I heavily advocate for marriage, premarital counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to know what you're getting yourself into.
There's a really great book.
And I believe His Needs, Her Needs.
That's a great book.
Is a good one. And Liberty Through Submission is a great one too.
And also 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged.
I've never heard of that.
It's a great book.
I'm going to buy that.
It's a really great book.
That's really great. We need to have like an Amazon book list.
We need to have an Amazon book list.
For sure. 1000%.
I feel complete.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Next question. There's so many good ones.
I like that there's so many good ones.
There's many good ones.
Okay.
Some of these are related to, I guess, this. I'm going to ask this one first.
Okay.
Before I ask the other one.
Okay.
Should you and your partner get tested for STDs before things get serious?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't.
Yes. Absolutely. Where is the harm?
A lot of men don't like going to the doctor.
Why?
Because they scared.
Well, be scared over there. Leave me alone. That's all I got.
Hey, if you feel complete, so do I. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that question. That's a great question. Okay. How do you correct a man but stay in your feminine?
That's really our question?
I mean, there's two of them, but I was like, I'm going to go to the other one. There's so many good ones.
That's in our book.
It is in our book. I feel like you should preface.
Okay, guys, for my ladies, I'm right here. For my ladies, if you guys want to learn how to be more feminine and really have actionable steps that you can start to take today with things like how you speak to the person, how you emotionally regulate, like different ideas, all of these examples, we did a lot, actually. We really did a lot.
We dived in.
We did. And it's still an intro.
It is. That's crazy, ain't it?
But it's a lot of really good stuff. If that's for you, make sure to click the link below because our book, 10 Steps on how to be a high value feminine woman, Intro to Finding Your Femininity, is absolutely game changing, especially if you're new to being more feminine. We didn't use every internet thing to write the book. We literally sat here, had a conversation, transcribed it, did all the things, shot a video, and it's pretty. I was like, you did that. Like, I got the best team on the planet, but that's for another day. But check that out below. It is on our website as well, MsSarahFontenot.com. You could check out all the different resources that we have. But the question is, how do you, in a feminine way, correct your man?
Yeah, how do you correct your man but stay in your feminine?
Well, firstly, I have to say, I love that they said correct as word choice instead of like criticize or nag or whatever it may be. Because the truth is, masculinity doesn't want a girl that will let you walk all over them. Like really and truly, they want you to set boundaries. They want you to have a standard, right? And if you don't have that standard, I feel like they don't really want you. Like, you'll be there for right now, but you won't be there for a long time. So inside of correcting that person, it comes back to tone. It comes back to volume. It comes up to body language. It comes back to emotional regulation. It comes down to what is the ultimate result that you want. If the result is that you want peace in your home, then if you say, look, Negro, you should have this, that, and the other, blase, blase, that's not going to give you this result of peace in your home. So ultimately, what is the result that you want? Reverse engineer it and then get to work that way. Being mindful of that tone, of your body language, of the words that you choose, of the way that you talk to him. And I think that ultimately, you should also do what we call the sandwich. Check out the book below to get more details on that. But there's definitely ways to correct a man in a way where you can still make that man feel good and open him up to what it is that you want him to hear. You know?
Yeah, we're definitely going to dance around that answer because we want you to get that book. Because it explains everything. It explains everything.
I mean, it literally.
It's so good. We did a great job.
We did a good job.
All right.
And it's just an intro.
It's just an intro. More on the way, guys. Anywho, this is the good one, the really good one.
Okay.
What is one thing you are willing to compromise for the greater good in a healthy partnership?
I think I'm willing to compromise just about anything except for my needs.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, compromise is important in a relationship, but I'm not willing to compromise my peace, my sanity. I'm not willing to compromise my core values of safety, security, respect, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, openness, and honesty. I'm not willing to throw those things out the window, but I am willing to compromise on, if my man were to say, baby, we got to move, where are we going? If my man were to say, I want you to stop shooting skits so much. Dang. You sure? Okay. And not to say that I'm a pushover, but ultimately, if the root message of it is, I want us to be stronger together. If the root message of it is, we got us and we're riding this thing till the wheels fall off and this is my husband, I feel personally like that just makes for a stronger relationship. And the same thing for a man. I think that a man should be able to compromise anything other than who he is, his purpose, and his commitment to God.
Yeah.
But everything outside of like those core things you can compromise on all of that.
I agree.
Because ultimately, most of that doesn't really mean anything.
I like the way you explained that because I wasn't understanding at first. I like that. I love that answer.
Thanks. Okay.
This is a good one.
Okay.
As a woman.
Yes.
If you do not want a 50-50 relationship, which you don't.
I don't.
Does it make you entitled?
No. It makes you have a standard. I think there's a difference between having the expectation of someone to do for you when you can't even do for yourself, first and foremost. I think that there's a difference between the woman that has a standard of, I desire to have a provider and I'm willing to not try to force a 50-50 man into a 100% provision relationship, and I'm speaking monetarily here, I'm willing to try to make him do that. No, that having the expectation when the materials aren't there is crazy. Like that to me doesn't make any sense. Are you with me? I keep looking at you, look down, and I'm like,
I'm looking at it.
I know, because you getting ahead of yourself. Sorry. Guys, one thing about me and Anissa, we be calling each other out when I don't feel listened to when you look at your phone. And I'll literally say, I'll wait. So I'm trying not to say I'll wait but I ended up saying I'll wait anyway. So I apologize. But I see you doing the thing.
Yeah, she's right.
But I would say, what was the question? I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
Does not wanting
make you entitled? Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't make you entitled. I think that it makes you have a standard. And if you're willing to be patient for what it is that you want and you bring value where a man actually desires to do that for you, I don't think that makes you entitled.
I guess the first step of like the patience is being secure in your singleness. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people suffer from warm body syndrome. Yeah. Yeah. They do. So they don't know how to be by themselves. They end up getting bored. And they start dating because they feel like another person is supposed to fill this void. When honestly, that's an indicator that there's room for growth. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like, bless you. Oh, that was never mind. Sorry. Okay. I also feel like inside of, oh man, what was I going to say? It was right at the tip of my tongue. Then I started thinking about Jesus. So random. I know. Sorry, squirrel. I don't know what I was going to say, but it was something about entitlement and 50-50 and bringing something to the table. And, I don't need a man to pay my bills, but when I'm in a relationship, he does. Every time. I don't ask for it.
It just happens that
way. It
way.
happens that way.
Because you provide a value that is so high that he wants to solve your problem.
And it's not even a problem. It's that he wants to do it. And I make my man feel so needed, wanted, desired. Like, oh my God, you saved my life. I'm out here struggling.
So you damsel in distress out of here.
What? With my man? Yes. Baby, save me. You can
the biggest baby, ain't you?
I'm the biggest baby. Like, am I your baby? Yes, I am. And I love that for me. But like in the outside world, I'm Sarah Fontenot. Don't play with me. But on the inside world, I'm goo. Yes, exactly.
I'm the same
child.
way. My God.
I'm a child.
I remember the first time you heard me get all high voiced with somebody.
On the phone.
We were at the gym. You was like,
I broke my neck looking at you.
Y'all so used to me being so.
Who are you talking to? Who is that?
Right.
Yeah.
So I get it. Don't look at me.
That threw me for a doozy. Almost Matrix.
You and Athena was looking at me like, what?
Slowed like, what in the world?
See, y'all didn't think I had it in me. It's in there.
It's in there. Yeah. I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Why has dating become adversarial, competitive between partners? I have no idea. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. I feel like everyone has something to prove on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I think that's why.
I've never been in a relationship where I've been in competition with my partner. I don't even know what that looks like.
Oh, with each other.
Yeah.
I was thinking like people are competing with other relationships. No, they bought her this car. Let me buy her that car. They went on this trip. Let me go on this trip. Like everything is so like show instead of be.
I can attest to that side, right? And this happened when I was married, right? Me and my husband were married my ex-husband, Lord Jesus. We were married for a couple of years. We just had our twins, right? And things were not working out for us. Our car just broke down, and it was just our finances wasn't right. And my sister just got married, and all these good things were happening. And I was like, how this stuff happened to her? It was complete jealousy and entitlement and like ego and pride, because it's like in my head, we the reasons why y'all got married. How is this stuff working out for y'all and it's not working out for me? Now, it was extremely wrong for me to think that way.
It's human.
Yeah, it's human though.
It's not wrong.
Because it was just like, we all want to experience good things together. So when it's hard, if you are not aware, we talked about self-awareness on the other podcast. If you're not aware, you can become easily like jealous of like the people who you're supposed to be rooting for subconsciously. And I had to God checked me so fast. I was like, oh, my bad. This happened almost 10 years ago. So, but still, like I can attest to oh, they have that, then we should have it too. It's a sit high, look low type of thing. Like if we think that you subconsciously think that you're better than somebody and you expect if they can get it, I should have been had it type thing. I can attest to that. But as far as like me and my man are in competition, what do you mean?
Yeah, I feel like I mean I've had that relationship. I've been in relationships where I felt like I was in competition with my man before. My second time I was engaged, it felt like a competition with him. And it's crazy because, you know, I almost feel like the more that someone tries to count you out or make you feel lesser than, the ego does kick in of like, oh, I'm going to show you how great I am. And it's funny because that's the same relationship where we were every hashtag on social media. On social media, we were relationship goals.
You was in competition
we
with
were
him?
Black love. We were power couple. But in reality, that's the same man that looked me dead in my face and told me I would never make it. And the only way I would make it was if I married someone who made it. And it was in that moment, it wasn't the betrayal or the lies or I didn't trust or any of those things. It wasn't any of those things that made me say, let me jump out of this relationship. It was when I was like, oh, you really don't even believe in me for real. And at the time I was in the top 3% of my company. I went on to be in the top 1%. How's that for not making it? However, I have a $9.8 billion company, just saying, just throwing that out there. But I say that to say, it's not even about making it or not making it. It's about the fact that I trapped myself in the facade of what I was showing on the perception of my relationship on social media, that became more important. The perception became more important than my reality. And I think that we need to, and maybe you need to go through it. I needed to go through that because that's also when I was very materialistic. That's also when I was very much inside of like, let me show everyone how great I am because meanwhile I'm at home being told that I'm not. So I needed to go through that time.
I know who you're talking about too.
I don't think you do. No, you don't. This is the second time, not the second and a half time. But that person too. But that's a story for another day.
I think that is so crazy. I think it's so narcissistic.
It is
to pursue a person, to then get that person, and to then do everything to break them down
or try.
Yeah.
But that's true narcissistic behavior.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And I think also all of us, if you're a little bit of successful, you have narcissistic traits. Like it takes something to say, I'm going to be successful. I am good enough to make it. I do believe in me. I am selfish. Like some of those things are important in order to have any kind of success. But when you have narcissistic personality disorder, which is when you want to get the best person to see if you can erode them down and you don't even know that you do it because you live in your own delusion. Like it's an actual mental illness, right? That's why it's called a disorder, like a narcissistic personality disorder. It's a disorder, right? So inside of that, and I've only experienced that once, and that's the person that you know that we were talking about. But I think that's why it's so important because that relationship didn't last very long. It was 6-7 months, but it felt like 5 years, you know? And oddly enough, it was he and I that started reading the book, 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged. But it was all a part of the plan. You know, let me enroll you into the vision that I have for us. We're going to get married. Let me ask your father for permission to marry you in front of you. Let me do all of these different things that just weren't the truth. So I think that ultimately, the best thing that you can do if you are in a space where you're competing with your partner is why. We talked about this on one of our episodes. We don't have anything to prove. There's nothing and when you get to a space where you don't have to prove anything to anybody, you can just be. And when you can just be, there's no space for competition. It's, I love you. I love what you bring to the table. I love what you're up to. I love I just love you, you know? I love our mission. I'm enrolled in what we're going for. And when you get to like that space of things, your relationship becomes untouchable. But most people don't want to do that work.
Wow. That was a lot, but I love that answer.
That was a long answer, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in competition.
That's crazy work. This is a good question. These are all really great questions. Thank you, givers. Keep coming with the come on now. Outside of infidelity and physical abuse, is there any reason for a man to divorce his wife?
Are we talking about biblically or are we talking about 2024?
I mean, because biblically, no.
Right.
But 2024, give the 2024 answer.
I just really don't want to get divorced. That's really hard for me. And I think that's why I haven't been married yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I got engaged and I was ready for marriage, it's like it took me being on a closer vicinity or proximity to marriage where I started to vet the person different. I started to look at the person different. I started to ask different kinds of questions where I was like, ooh, I don't think this is it. I can't commit to you for life.
Mm.
So for me, I think if you have great communication and you're willing to forgive and you're willing to fight the problem and not each other, and you're willing to grow and evolve, ultimately, I feel like everything is figure outable.
Yeah.
Like if you have that mindset, everything is figure outable.
Mm.
So and that's why I think that we got to be so mindful about who we choose for marriage. Marriage is just that's different. Fun fact of the day. Here we go. Let's talk about it. I was just having a conversation with one of my good people in my life. Major shout out to Lonnie. And we were talking about marriage. Did you know that marriage licenses were not created in America, in the United States, until 1929?
Shut up.
Did you know, also random fun fact, since we're talking about biblical versus everyday, the vows that you take, do you take this woman through sickness and health till death do you part? That's not in the Bible.
I know that. I know that part.
It's not in the Bible. Did you know that one of the reasons why they created marriage licenses was so that the black man in America could not marry white women? It was illegal.
Shut up.
So marriage licenses are actually rooted in racism.
That's insane.
Do you know how much research I'm about to do on this? Like my mind was so blown.
So does that mean you're going to get married without the paperwork? Because there's a way to get married without having the paperwork done.
Well, in the past, it wasn't, and ceremonies. Where did these ceremonies come from? You used to jump a broom.
Like biblical marriages, they all they did was they signed their names in like the books, like, and that was it. Like, I think they? Yeah, I think that's what it grew into. But even back then, like even in biblical times, I just believe that some type of ceremony was had, and that was it. There was no papers.
I think the wealthy had ceremonies. I don't think that the poor did. I think they just decided we were husband and wife. When did diamonds come into the picture?
Oh, that's rooted in racism too, though.
Yeah, there's just so much when you start
America
really asking questions.
It's such a horrible country to be part of.
Oh, marriage is and now we all subscribe to this story about getting married through the government. I don't know. Anyway, next question, because I don't have enough information to go into the topics that I really want to go into. I got to really do my due diligence.
This is yes.
Mm-hmm. You good, Kenny?
All good.
Mm-hmm.
Why do women equate success in being a productive female adult with being masculine?
Why do women equate success
in being a productive female adult with being masculine?
Because achievement is masculine.
Please break that down. Because a lot of people believe that being an adult that pays your own bills is just being an adult. Has nothing to do with feminine or masculinity.
No, we all have feminine and masculine energy. We all have both. And one of a masculine trait, masculine energy is achievement, is goal oriented. So if you put your goals more ahead of other things like relationship or family, or that's much more of a masculine energy than it is feminine.
Yeah.
Feminine is much more nurturing. So I don't think that it's, and let me be clear, that's important to have. Otherwise, women that are single would be homeless.
This is true.
Right? So there's not, I think the problem is that people weaponize femininity and masculinity. They call men feminine, like, oh, you ain't nothing. You a feminine blank, blank, but blank, 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 right? When the truth is, if he were feminine, why is that bad?
I believe that
if she is masculine, why is that bad?
Because it may be an interference into the relationship.
But if it's not, it's not bad. And if you're single, it's also not bad.
Yeah.
I think that the balances are off in everyday society. But the problem for me, because you know me, I just say what it is, at least what it is for me. So if it is for me that you are, like, let's say, The sun is yellow. I don't get mad at the sun for being yellow. I like the sun is, it just is what it is. This person is masculine. Oh my God, I can't believe that you call me masculine, but you are. Why is that bad?
I think it's because they don't want to be, and you're calling them out on something that they see as something that goes against them instead of being for them. Like if I tell one of my female friends, like I just told one of my female friends, like, yo, you a little more. I said the problems you having with these men is because you come off very strong. You comes off very masculine. You're never going to be heard that way. Now I told you this before, and like she received it properly, but a lot of people don't because they've never had somebody tell them that. And
that's the problem. It's
right.
People have a problem with accountability.
Yeah, and also they have a problem with the truth. They have a problem with accepting reality because they have this made up fictitious
version
persona
of themselves in their mind.
Yeah, because even I had to like growing up, I've had to like understand like I am the most tomboyish of tomboys. I was so masculine until I felt safe enough to be that way, and I had to like jailbreak my brain to be like, okay, I could be feminine without a man in my life. I just need to learn how. A lot of women are afraid to ask for help in that area because they feel like they're asking for help in an area that they should feel they already have knowledge in. Like I should already know this. So I don't want to seem like as the weaker vessel or the weakest link because I need to be taught this, but I think it's actually very strong of them to ask for help.
Yeah. Or at least state the need. Yeah. I'm not very good at asking for help either, to be honest, but I will plant seeds like a mug.
A lot of strong, independent women don't like asking.
But you'll know my needs. I don't want to ask anybody for anything ever.
What
I don't want to ask.
Why?
Because I would rather you know what needs to be done and you do it. I don't want to ask you.
But people not mind readers.
No, you don't have to read my mind. You know the need.
Oh, okay. I understand what you mean. Are you saying this just for everybody or just like your man?
Definitely for my man.
Of course. But as far as everybody.
I mean, maybe a little bit of everybody too. To ask for help?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think I'm good at that. Now, if we're working, I'm good at saying what I want done.
Yeah.
But to ask for help, that's not really my thing.
We're going to work on this here.
I know. This is true.
Okay.
This is true.
This is a good one.
Okay.
Someone asked, how do I get over an ex? He's moved on, but I haven't.
Ooh. What do you love to do? Do more of it. And not to over function, because you also have to feel and be okay with the fact that you're not over that person. But I would really try to condition and focus on what is it that you do want. So many of us spend so much time focusing on what we don't want. Oh, I don't want a man that whatever. Oh, I don't want to move on. Oh, I don't want to get sick. Oh, well, the truth of the matter is God knows our heart. But most of our heart is set on stress, complaints, gossip, and stuff that doesn't mean anything. Right? So it's not just your mindset, it's your heart set. And we don't attract what we think about. We attract what we feel strongest about. So if you're constantly feeling like, oh, he moved on and I didn't, and I'm never going to be happy and XYZ and blah, 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 that's what you attract more of because you're giving that the power. Energy goes where focus flows where energy goes. So if you're focusing on that, that's all you can see. You've got to change what you're looking at. Well, what do you want? I want to heal. How do you heal? Well, maybe listening to my favorite gospel playlist will help me to feel better in my confidence. Maybe getting up 5 minutes earlier, 3 days a week to do workouts by the bedside. That'll work. Maybe, going to the gym or going for walks with my girlfriends instead of going for drinks, maybe whatever it is, you've got to understand yourself where you're okay with being with yourself so that you can heal. I personally think.
Also, pray for them. Remove everything from you that reminds you of them. That's first thing. And also pray for them. You can never stay mad at somebody that you're genuinely praying for.
You think so?
I 100% believe that. And this is...
She's bigger than me. I can't say I'm a pray for my exes. I just,
it definitely comes with a lot of humility, and like you have to let your ego go. That's your ego.
No, it's I don't care. Out of sight, out of mind. They dead and gone.
Well, that's okay.
Thank you for the experience.
But this is talking about if you still feel in your heart a level of disdain and discomfort and feel a type of way about them. If you don't care, you don't care.
You know what it is? I think that I've personally walked away from every relationship I've ever been in. Mm-hmm. So it's like I've tried so hard in the relationship, and finally when I let it go, I'm gone. So I don't even have the let me be the bigger person and pray for this person in my heart. I'm really like,
well, that's because you can walk away unscathed and just be like, I'm gone. But as far as like people who have a problem with letting go, prayer helps.
I have a problem of letting go when I'm in it. Like I hold on way longer than I should.
Than you should. Yeah.
And then, but finally once I let go, okay.
Yeah, I can agree. I was like that in my marriage. Like I wanted to hold on, and then once I was gone. But I had a level of hate for this man in my heart.
I don't think I have hate, but I do. What I will say is what I do inside of my relationships and why I think that I may not have let someone go while I'm still in it is because I'm constantly replaying things in my mind. And I honestly think that's what hell on earth is, where you're constantly replaying in your mind things that you've done, things that you're not proud of, things of, whatever. And you beat yourself up and you shame yourself and guilt yourself and wrong yourself and all of these different things, when ultimately you have to remember our bodies are literally wired to be negative. They're wired to be negative. Our bodies are wired to be negative. Why is it when you break up with a person, all you can think about is all the great things that they ever did for you? But you can't think about all the toxic, mean, just disrespectful things that they did. It's like, oh, but he used to buy me flowers. You don't even like flowers. What is happening? But our minds are wired that way. So we literally have to reprogram the way that we're thinking about things,
Yeah. That's a great answer. All right. On to the videos.
Okay. Which ones? Where are I going?
This 4 of them. Just pick. We
2?
already at 53 minutes. I didn't even realize this time has been flying.
Flying and also going very slow at the same time. Okay. I'm going to do she fails to convince him on marriage. Okay.
Can you present to me compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married?
I think the first thing that came to mind is that how serious a real man is. A real man who stands on his word. You stand on your word, you stand on what you do in life, and you say, hey, you're the one I want, and I want to live the rest of my life with you, and I don't want anybody else. Why do I need a marriage
for that? Why do I need a marriage for that?
If you're saying that, prove it. Show by your actions you have the action to put my hand in wedlock as in a commitment.
Okay, let's assume the man says, you're the one that I want forever. They think that you're great. You're the greatest ever. I want to only be with you for the rest of my life, and I want to commit to that. Will you commit to give him a prenup so that if you divorce him, you get nothing?
No, I don't agree with someone signing into marriage and not getting anything. If you both put in work and you just leave the marriage with nothing, I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's really quite the strange argument then to say, well, wait, I expect this lifetime commitment from you in order to prove and demonstrate that you love me. Where's the demonstration of love from you?
I want you to commit to me. I love you. I want you to commit to me.
Can you present to me?
I love the smacking of the teeth.
Ooh, there's a lot that just happened here. She fails to convince him on marriage. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind was like, oh, okay, she's not really saying the rooted in the mission thing, right? Like we all know that some of the greatest men, most men's downfall is either women, drugs, money, or alcohol, right? Like that's just the downfall. So if you can conquer a woman, usually she can help you conquer the other 3. So that's number 1. Number 2, I feel like if you are committed to a mission and she's committed to your mission, you literally have an additional CEO under your wing. You got somebody that's pushing things forward. If you have a woman that understands business, that understands connection, relationships, all of these different things, you've got like a ninja on your team. But more so than any of that, I hear his argument with, well, if we get married and we sign a prenup, you get nothing. Now, let me tell you why I don't agree with that. I think a prenup is important. I think that everyone should protect.
Would you get a prenup?
Yeah, I'm open. I'm open to a prenup. However, my prenup is going to say, if we're married for 1 to 5 years, this is what it looks like per month. If we're married for 5 to 10 years, this is what it looks like per month. If we're married for 10 to 15 years, this is what it looks like per month. If we're married for 15 to 20 years, this is what it looks like per month. And if we're married for 20 plus years, this is what it looks like per month if we get a divorce. Because let me be perfectly clear. If you take a me under what you have going on, I have stopped building and focusing on what I could have done, because now I'm in my feminine with you instead of being masculine in the world, accomplishing far less, making far less. And that is a surrender and a choice that I powerfully choose when choosing my partner. Now, that's not to say I'm going to make $0. Let me also make that perfectly clear, because I'm never not going to do nothing. I just don't even really have that in me. However, you think for 1 second that the essence and energy of the partner that you choose didn't go towards the growth inside of your success? The relationships that you have, she didn't have a part to do with? If you think for 1 second, and that isn't necessarily quantifiable, but that's why when you have a prenup, you go into it with that mindset. What does this look like? If you get 5 years of my life, and time is the most valuable thing that we have because that's when we can create legacy, right? If you get the most valuable, the best years that I have, if you get me from 35 to 50, realistically speaking, you got the best years of my life. Y'all get better with time. We get worse. There's going to be, in my mind, it just makes sense for there to be compensation for that.
Right. I agree.
What do you think, Kenny? You're a man.
So a lot of this stuff seems like a come up to me. Like for a lady to come into a marriage with a man and doesn't add any value.
But we're not talking about that.
Right. Based on what you said, I agree, because you're adding value, right? If you're not adding any value, I don't see what's the purpose of somebody taking something from another person that they didn't add any benefit towards. So it sounds like a come up to me, depending on how the marriage comes about. If you're saying, okay, this person got it, I got nothing to add to it, let's sign this paperwork, no prenup, gotcha. Because when the day comes that I feel like you're not rocking with me, you're not rocking with me, however, vice versa, someone's going to get the better end of the stick. Someone's going to get the better side of it. And then it throws me off because one person can do all the work and they get the worst end of the stick. They they don't have access to their children. They lose all their money, going back to their parents' house. They can't get any whatever investment that they want to get into because now this marriage ruined it. On the guy or woman's side, either or. But when it comes to a prenup and it's agreements and it makes sense, just like you said, hey, we're here for this amount of time. I actually added value to this life, and you're going to leave me and leave me with nothing? Then that's where it won't work.
That's a problem for me.
A huge problem.
Yeah. And I do. And I agree with you too, because honestly, I don't think a woman cooking and cleaning is enough to deserve a bunch of money per month. I don't believe that that's real alimony worthy. You didn't really add value. But if you are a woman that is a high value feminine woman, you are seeking the need. You're solving the problem. You're building the relationships. You're identifying what needs to happen, right? So I feel like that's just a completely different level of woman. So I understand, because sometimes women can't even articulate what it is that they offer, because sometimes it's energetic. It's what's the word? It starts with a T. I can see it in my mind, but I can't see it. I think I'm sleepy. My brain is tired. Oh my gosh, what's the word?
Transformative?
No.
Transparent?
No.
Tranquil?
The things that you bring to the table that are not
tangible.
Intangible. Thank you. When you have, thank you, my brain. When you have intangible things that you may not be able to articulate them because you don't even really know that you have them, because you're literally just like, oh, this is who I am. Well, how you are is special. It's different.
Yeah, because I can see women also adding that value and then forgetting that they added that value and get lost in la la land with the man. And then when it comes to divorcing and then you have anything set up, then you're totally screwed over.
You're screwed.
Totally screwed over.
Yep.
So I think just know what you're getting into on both sides. If you're an entrepreneur and the other partner is not, then it's a chance that person might feel some type of way that you're taking from their business, right? Yeah. But if you added value to it you also have parts of that business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in my opinion, well, in my life, when I get remarried, I'm getting a prenup because you have no right to touch anything that I built before you.
Mm.
Absolutely. Now, if there was you come into my life and you add value to it, then sure, I will make sure. Because here's the thing, like even in my previous marriage, I didn't want nothing from that man. I was so like mentally checked out. All I wanted was my freedom. I didn't want no money, no nothing. Just free me, please, for the love of God. And I'm so glad that I took that route. A lot of people looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, listen, y'all don't understand. Like I was married to a full-blown narcissist. So I was like, bro, I cannot do it. And I've even showed you some of the conversations. You was just like, ew, like what is this? Because I still deal with it to this day because I unfortunately had children with a narcissist. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. So I 100%, I didn't used to be against prenups, but now that I'm an entrepreneur with my own things that I'm building for my children, especially I'm a woman coming into a marriage with children, I have to, because a lot of times there are such things as wolf in sheep's clothing. Men and women will play a role as long as they can until they feel like they hook, line, and sink you. Yeah. And then you marry with no protection.
I had that with a friend.
My God. It's a nightmare.
It's sad.
And
it's heartbreaking, really.
It is so heartbreaking. And you in the repercussions last years. Yeah. And anybody who was smart with intelligence should get a prenup. Yeah. I really believe
I also feel like if you don't have nothing, there's nothing to get a prenup for.
100%.
This is also true, but we're not talking about that.
That's facts.
We're not talking to y'all.
Okay.
Sorry.
I also think it's a slap to the face in some sense. Like this, so I understand the purpose of a prenup. Then I also see the slap in the face of it because it's like, hey, we love each other so much. Here's a prenup. And it's like, wait. So you don't A, trust me? You don't B, love me? C, all these different variables. So like, I feel like the word prenup is a very interesting word to throw around in the marriage.
It's the prenuptials.
Yeah.
I just feel like there was a basketball player who literally chose not to marry his wife the day of the wedding.
Because I saw that.
Because she kept running from the prenup. But she's the one, she agreed to it at first. So it's just like, yeah, I love you. But love, like you said in a previous episode, love doesn't keep.
What's love got to do with it?
Yeah, like what does love have to do with anything? Because there's going to be so many days where I wake up next to you and hate your face.
Literally.
And like love don't exist because to me, love is not a feeling, love is an action. In my opinion. Yeah. Because love is, if you look at the biblical definition of love, love is patient, love is kind, love has no record of wrongdoing, it doesn't fret, it overcomes everything. Those are all action statements, right? I believe that the feeling that you get is just the heart just being the heart because we are emotional people, right?
The definition of love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Is that the second, dictionary one?
No. And then the second one is a great interest and pleasure in something.
Yeah.
So when you think about the definition, I think that we as people, we give things our own meanings, right? If I were to say, give me 3 words that define love, Kenny, what would you say?
I would say affection. What's the genuine care? What's another term I was going to say? Oh, unconditional love.
I mean that you can't use the.
You can't use love with love. Yeah. I would say unconditional care.
Okay.
Peace.
Okay, affection, unconditional care, and peace.
Yeah.
Anissa, what are your 3?
Patient, kind, and forgiving.
Mine are alignment, respect, and intentional understanding.
All the above.
The truth is, none of us have the same definition. So we all throw these words out here, but if we go to what it actually means, an intense feeling or of deep affection, it is a feeling. You can show it through your actions. But I don't even think that I don't even think that's the action of love. I think that's the action of intention. I think it's just an intention to keep things feeling loving.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I just like to stick more of the biblical standard of what love is, because I feel like once that feeling that you're talking about runs out, what is there left?
Alignment, purpose, and God.
But then
that's the most that's there in the first place.
And then when you go into the God, right? God's definition of love are all actions. So it's just like, I just feel like if people are, like you said, aligned and they have the same beliefs and core values, even if the feeling isn't there, the love stays and they can work. Like you said, anything is fixable. Anything is figure outable, or whatever you said. And
that's what I said.
And
shout out to Marie Forleo.
So it just really depends on what are you there for?
Yeah.
And why?
And I think everyone should ask themselves that question.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Go to the next video that says, I don't date black women. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance.
I would never date a black girl.
That girl. Yep, that one.
Is she not black?
Just
teaching one of my students. He pointed out one of the girls, this little white blonde haired, blue eyed girl. She's like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah. He's like, I would never date a black girl. And you know us girls.
All three of us.
Yeah,
like,
I was like they're teaching in separate corners, and we're all like, what?
You forgot to mention, this boy is mixed himself.
Yeah. So I was like, well, he needs to validate this statement that he just made. That was pretty brash and bold. And I was like, young man, why would you do that? And he's like, first of all, they loud. I was like, he's like, they think they bougie and they're annoying and they ugly.
But to me, the fact that a child would even say that shows that somehow there is this mentality. Like, I'm not saying even majority of black men feel like that.
And statistically speaking, the rates of interracial marriage, like how much they've risen, is like over 100%.
Right?
Yeah, I did look at it.
100%.
I believe so.
I told you it was related to one of the questions that we had.
I would never date a black woman. It just goes to show that the social medial portrayal of black women, which is, the sexy reds, and I'm not even saying it's a bad thing, because I don't care. Y'all do you.
It's horrible. She needs to stop.
I'm just saying what the people are showing that black women are is not what most of us are. And the videos that go viral the most, I almost think it's like a part of the agenda to show us as these entitled, disrespectful, just ugly spirited people. And that's not the truth. Because there are so many of us that are classy and loving and compassionate and understanding. And it's up to us to continue to portray that, so people never have to say stuff like this.
Yeah, the world feeds on negativity. The positive doesn't gain traction.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Like when I go, finding these videos are easy for you. Are so easy for me, because they're all over the place, because people love to be opinionated on negative things. And when it's time to be positive, because it's not attractive, it doesn't,
people don't want it.
It's like something in our brain. It's like
negativity is natural.
Like back in the Romans, when they used to have the Colosseum, like people love stuff like that.
They're literally killing each other. And literally ending lives. And it's let's do it.
Yeah, I will never. I thank Jesus all the time for not allowing me to be born during those days, because that's just insane.
Yeah, that's sad. It just says that we have work to do. That's it.
Do we really, or do we need to get rid of the agenda and start making?
You can never get rid of the agenda.
Why not?
Because they are the richest families in the world.
Get rid of the anarchy.
It'll never happen.
Burn it down to the ground.
No, you got to use what you have to get what you want.
Viva Revolution.
Do the best you can do.
We need the Black Panthers back. We need to do something.
I don't even think it's Black Panthers. I think it's a lot.
I'm just saying stuff. I don't even know if I'm historically correct. I'm just saying we need to.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Capitalism is destroying everything, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, we're not gonna get in that conversation.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say, I love these questions. They're actually asking really deep questions, and we got another episode coming up. But yeah, I feel complete. Do you guys feel complete?
I feel so complete.
Yeah, well, Kenny made your shout out to you. Who is Kenny V on the gram? What's up? How you feel?
Whoop, whoop. Feeling real good. Let's get it, everybody. Make sure to follow all the social media pages of It's Giving between YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We don't have LinkedIn. That's too businessy. We don't talk about business here, so we ain't got no business. But make sure to follow on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Make sure to go to the website. Grab that book too. Get that. Stop playing with them.
Sarah worked way too hard for y'all not to get this book, y'all.
Big facts. So make sure to get that. It's Givers. Let's go. Oh.
And we got shot by Anissa, not with a gun, but with a camera. What's up, baby? How you feel?
With that too. But anyway, I'm just playing. No, man. I'm just happy to be here. I'm so proud of us and our accomplishment. We love the growth. We love the questions.
Yes.
Make sure you stay tuned. And we love the fact that y'all are so in sync with our message. And the more we dive deep into it, I look forward to the stories that we get to listen to, because we still have a It's Giving Reddit page, y'all.
Yes,
let's not forget about that.
Also in the link below.
It's also in the link below. So just give us all the tea, because we love sipping on it, and let's diving into it. And I'm just ready for future.
Yes. And guys, if you've made it this far, thank you for being a part of this family. We love you so freaking much. We appreciate your questions and your videos and all of the things. And if no one has told you today, you are freaking phenomenal. Bomb.com. Nothing can stop you but you, but you got to do something about it. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.